7:59 on this KGW weather impact alert day. It is starting to get a little wet out there on our Vancouver Springs at the waterfront camera here. You can see a couple of drops of rain, just the very beginning of what will turn out to be a wet and breezy day. It's 56 right now in Vancouver. Over the last 3 hours, you can see the progress that rain is making. Now knocking on our doorstep here in Portland, we've got some light rain showing up in Hillsborough, and that is just the beginning of what eventually is going to be a pretty wet and breezy day. High temperatures today climbing to the upper 50s to low 60s. We'll get a break in the action overnight and then more rain moving in for Saturday and Sunday. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads and the drive getting a little bit busier as we go up to North Portland. I think you might be able to see somebody flicking on their windshield wipers there on that shot near Lombard. Yeah, and the drive's starting to slow just a little bit there as well. At last check, the trip in from Clark County up to 15 minutes from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Elsewhere on the system, the drive building a bit on the Banfield. There you can see westbound I-84 tightening up near the Hollywood district. It's about 20 minutes to get you in from Troutdale.
Well, right now at 8 o'clock, we're tracking a weather impact alert day with heavy rain and high winds expected to hit the Portland metro. The impacts you can expect to see as well as your full forecast as we head into the weekend ahead on Sunrise. Plus,
victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived.
Chauncey Billups arrested and indicted just hours after the Blazers home opener. What the FBI revealed about its investigation spanning across the country and what's next for the team. Then,
thank God for tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we'd be a third world nation.
President Donald Trump putting a halt to trade talks with Canada, how the move could impact U.S. trade and national security. And later,
Alaska Airlines, how did this happen twice?
Alaska Airlines flights slow to standstill after a major IT outage. What frustrated passengers are saying this morning as the airline workers get its planes back in the sky. The 8 o'clock hour sunrise starts right now.
well, we're tracking the latest on today's weather impact alert as two strong storms impact our region. This is a live look from our Wells Fargo tower camera looking out over Portland right now.
The atmospheric river is bringing heavy rain at times across the Portland metro as people make their morning commutes to work. Winds are also expected to pick up. Thank you for joining us here at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Corey Johnson in for Drew Carney today. Chris McGinnis standing by for a look at your weather and traffic.
We got the wind, we got the rain, we got the lions and tigers and bears too. We've got, yes, it's going to turn pretty wet out there as we roll through the morning today for sure. This is a live look from our Vancouver waterfront camera here from the springs of the waterfront. Few drops of rain there. Again, just the very beginning of what's going to wind up being a fairly wet day here across the I-5 corridor in most of Southwest Washington and Northwest Oregon. Radar, over the last 3 hours, we've been steadily tracking this band of rain. It's been raining at the coast all morning, and now that rain again showing up in Vancouver, starting to show up on radar, at least out across parts of Washington County. The observation from McMinnville reporting some light rain as well. So rain on the increase between now and about 9 or 10 o'clock. And then I think we're looking at a several-hour period here from about 11 to maybe 3 or 4 o'clock where it's raining steadily more than not, and also turning quite breezy with south winds picking up 15 to 25 miles an hour. So we got the rain, the wind today, more with that tomorrow and Sunday, and lowering snow levels in the Cascades. We'll talk about all of that coming up in a few minutes. Let's talk about your morning commute right now. It is getting busier, and I think I can see what looks like some damp pavement here up in North Portland. This is I-5 up near Lombard. You can see the headlights there representing the southbound I-5 drive, which is getting busier now in the 8 o'clock hour. Not bad, though. 15 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Over on the west side, again, riding the brakes a little bit on the Sunset as we are in the Banfield. This is I-84, the taillights moving from lower right to upper left. That's the westbound drive coming out of the Hollywood district. Right now, we're at about 20 minutes to get you in from Troutdale to downtown. China?
Thank you, Chris. We are continuing to follow the arrest of Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups.
Now, Billups was arrested yesterday by the FBI for being part of a fraudulent poker game. Now, he's also been suspended by the NBA. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from outside the Moda Center. Thomas, what else have we learned?
Yeah, well, look, guys, the FBI has two investigations ongoing about guys related to the NBA. There's that first one that Chauncey Billups is alleged to be a part of, with rigged poker games and x-rays on the table, special eye contact lenses, and hidden cameras, all get this apparently run by New York City mob families. Now we're learning he might be a part of another one revolving around NBA betting. Prosecutors mentioned a co-conspirator 8 in an indictment, labeling them as a person who lives in Oregon and was an NBA player from approximately 1997 to 2014 and an NBA coach since at least 2021. If you know anything about Billups, that might raise some flags. He played during that exact time span. He's been an NBA coach since November 2020 and a head coach since 2021. According to the indictment, the coach told a gambler the Blazers would intentionally lose a game on March 24th, 2023 and not play several of their best players in hopes of increasing their chances at a better draft pick. The gambler was allegedly told before the public knew the players would be out. That gambler and another then placed successful fraudulent wagers. The Blazers ended up losing to the Chicago Bulls by almost 30 points. Billups has not been charged in that case, though former FBI agent Chris Swecker says it clearly involves Billups. Swecker says there must be a reason the coach wasn't named.
There's a card that's being played here. It just hasn't been played yet. It's my belief that there's some kind of plea deal in the offing, that maybe the details haven't been nailed down, and this is a piece of leverage in that case, that he hasn't been outright indicted in that case at this point.
After that 2023 game, Billups answered questions from reporters about key players being injured.
It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but it is what it is. You know, I just, whoever's available, I'm gonna coach them. I'm gonna try to do the best I can to help them.
So yesterday, Billups was in federal court in Portland. He's now been released from custody, but he's got restrictions. He can't gamble, and his travel is severely limited to Oregon, New York City, and Colorado. Speaking of New York City, he's got a court hearing coming up there on November 24th, so a lot to come for the Blazers head coach.
A lot indeed. Thomas Schultz live for us outside the Moda Center. Thank you, Thomas. Now, in a statement to ESPN, Billups' attorney said, in part, quote, to believe that Chauncey Billups did what the federal government is accusing him of is to believe that he would risk his Hall of Fame legacy, his reputation, and his freedom. He would not jeopardize those things for anything, let alone a card game. And we'll have continuing coverage on Billups' arrest right here on KGW. You can also learn the latest on the investigation online and on our free.
A judge has found a man guilty except for insanity for stabbing another rider to death on a Portland Max train last year. In March of 2024, 52-year-old Shondell Larkin killed Mike Brady while Brady was on his way home from work. The judge ruled that Larkin was suffering from psychological delusions at the time. He will likely spend the rest of his life in state hospital.
Beaverton police are looking for anyone who might have encountered a man who they say broke into several homes and got into bed with women who were sleeping. Now, this is the man in question right there on your screen, Christopher Reidman. Authorities say this happened several times during the night of October 8th. Police say they have surveillance video showing him checking door handles in central Beaverton. They say he got into 2 homes, then crawled into bed with women who were sleeping. Reidman has been indicted by a grand jury on charges of burglary, sexual abuse, and private indecency. Well, check this out. Nike is now testing a first-of-its-kind shoe designed to make people go faster and farther than ever before. It's called Project Amplify. The experimental footwear features a lightweight, powerful motor and rechargeable battery that's part of the running shoe. Now, think of it as having a second set of calf muscles. I mean, who wouldn't want that? It's unclear exactly when those shoes are set to hit store shelves.
Your time now is 8:07. Let's head over to Chris McGinnis for a look at your weather and traffic on this KGW
Together.
Weather
All together now.
8 o'clock. It's time. It's time to check out.
There's a lot of weather to talk about, so let's get right to it. We've got 2 stormy days. Really, we're tracking 3 distinct weather features, but it's today and tomorrow that are going to be the stormiest of our weekend, with occasionally heavy rain, occasionally breezy to really gusty wind, and so you need to be prepared for that as you hit the roads. Now would be a great time to clear your storm drains, with upwards of 2 or 2+ inches of rain in the Willamette Valley expected today. And obviously with the gusty wind, maybe secure those light lawn objects, right? Your lawn chairs or even trash can lids might be. Now, we've got enough wind coming our way tomorrow, certainly, that could be an issue. All right, here's what's going on right now. And over the last 3 hours, we've been tracking radar. It's been raining at the coast all morning, and that rain now is arriving in the I-5 corridor. We've had some showers push up into northern Clark and Cowlitz County. I've seen some rain on our camera lens from Vancouver as well along the waterfront. And now we're starting to see some rain knocking on the doorstep for you folks out in Hillsborough and Newburgh. McMinnville was reporting some light rain at last hour, and all of that is tracking eastward. By 9 o'clock, it appears the I-5 corridor is going to be solidly wet and getting wetter as I roll the clock into the late morning hours. It'll be a pretty good soaker, I think, between about 10 and 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. And Futurecast bears that out. Those areas of yellow and orange and red indicative of some of the heavier rainfall amounts that will be occurring as this system works its way on through. So today, increasing rain and wind, south wind gusts on the order of 15 to 25, with temperatures getting into the low 60s. We'll get a break overnight tonight, and then storm system number 2 comes in tomorrow. The wind will probably be stronger on Saturday's system, hence the high wind warnings at the coast and whatnot. We'll detail that a little bit more and talk about the lowering Cascade snow levels as well. I've got more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads, and we'll start off with the Interstate Bridge. There you can see some light rain, or at least evidence of the rain. The pavement looks a little damp there. I-5 at SR 14, not impacting the drive too badly just yet, but we are getting busier on the Banfield. That shot with the taillights being the westbound commute coming in from Hollywood. Tap of the brakes a bit as well on the Sunset coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. Right now, the drive in from Hillsborough, just shy of 20 minutes, guys. That's from Brookwood Parkway to I-405.
Alrighty, thank you, Chris.
It's shocking, I think, how wide-ranging it is.
Still ahead on Sunrise, we asked Blazers fans what they think about the arrest of head coach Chauncey Billups. This as the team prepares to take on the Golden State Warriors tonight, then later.
President Trump calling off all trade negotiations with Canada. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest on this developing story, including why an ad featuring former President Reagan is at the heart of it all.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
As we continue our coverage this morning on the arrest of Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, who is part of a federal probe into mafia-related sports betting and gambling allegations, we are taking a closer look at the world of sports betting.
Experts we spoke with say since sports betting was legalized, it was only a matter of time before someone from a team was accused of getting involved. Alma McCarty has the story.
Once confined to a Vegas casino, sportsbooks have spread.
It wasn't legal in all the states until more recently. And so about 6 years ago, we start to see that broaden.
A Supreme Court decision changing the game.
That opened the door for states to legalize various forms of sports betting, casino-type betting, mobile-type betting.
And the cash, experts say, has been rolling in ever since. Here's Mark Conrad, a professor of law and ethics in this field at Fordham University.
Lots of money is being bet. Lots of money is coming into states. Certain monies are coming into the sports betting companies. And of course, the sports leagues and teams are also profiting from this.
More money, more gambling opportunity, and more of a chance for players or coaches to potentially sway the outcomes.
You just need the wrong negative element to get involved, and all of a sudden you start to see this pressure being applied to these athletes.
David Weber with University of Oregon Law says more obvious schemes that may have come up in the past, like players throwing games, have changed to more minor manipulations.
Now we have this rise of a bet called a prop bet, and a prop bet is more of a side bet rather than who's going to win or lose. It might be who is going to have the first foul, or who's going to get a yellow card, or who might be under in terms of point totals, rebound totals, etc. And those can be fun, but they're also much more easy to manipulate if you're a player.
While the NBA and other leagues have systems in place to monitor gambling, Weber believes they'll hand down harsher punishments to deter this activity.
I think that the more we start to see this, the more the leagues are going to be very worried that their product is a real product, that it is, in fact, a competitive game and the outcome is undetermined. So I think we're going to start to see the leagues start to impose draconian measures in terms of significant penalties.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Now, Blazers fans are also reacting to the news of Billups' arrest, which happened just hours after their home opener on Wednesday.
It's shocking, I think, how wide-ranging it is. I mean, Billups being a Hall of Fame basketball player, first and foremost, I imagine that, you know, aside from probably losing his coaching gig, he'll be banned from the NBA.
Now, the Trailblazers play again tonight at the Moda Center against the Golden State Warriors. The team says assistant coach Tiago Splitter will take over as interim coach.
Your time now is 8:15. We are going to take a look at weather with Chris McGinnis on this weather impact alert day. Now, luckily,
2 of them.
Yeah, luckily you're here because you were talking about how it's calm now, but the rain comes and it leaves and it comes and the wind and the rain and it comes and green grass goes all around and around and green grass goes all around.
And the Lions and Tigers and Bears, too. That's my favorite part. Well, yes, 2 rounds of impactful weather and even pretty wet into Sunday as well. But we're focusing on today and tomorrow specifically for the KGW weather impact alert days. Rain and occasionally gusty wind today, probably gustier wind tomorrow, hence the high wind warnings at the coast for Saturday. More on that in a second. And last but not least, for anyone traveling over the Cascade Passes, there is likely to be accumulating snow in the Cascade Passes at some point this weekend, specifically Saturday night into Sunday, and I'll show you that in a second. We're tracking essentially 3 distinct weather systems. One, the leading edge of that atmospheric river now washing ashore here across the Pacific Northwest. This is not your typical light rain. This is more like the fire hose that's pointed at the region this morning and through the day today. Another piece of energy gathering steam here in the Central Pacific, and another little low that'll develop off that one for Sunday. So we put the 3 together, and cumulative rainfall potential for today, Saturday, and Sunday is on the order of 1.5 to 2.5 inches in the I-5 corridor, maybe double that at the coast. And of course, in the higher terrain of the Cascades, it will be in the form of snow. More on that in a second. All right, it's raining now in Vancouver. It's raining on the west side of Portland. It's raining out in Washington County. We've had rain on and off in McMinnville for the last hour. That rain is now pushing eastward. And by noontime, more of us than not will be getting fairly wet up and down the I-5 corridor. And at times, this rain will be steady, moderate to at times heavy. So with that in mind and some gusty wind from time to time, you can get the idea that the road conditions aren't going to be great out there as we roll deeper into the day. Fast forward to tonight, we get a break in the action. Rain shuts off for most of us, at least temporarily, so we'll get a dry window, and then fast on the heels of that system comes storm system number 2 in tomorrow morning before most of you are awake, and that'll come rolling on through with spiraling bands of showers then for the rest of the day tomorrow. Embedded within that will be gusty south winds from time to time. And then last but not least, storm system number 3 doesn't have as much punch, but it still has plenty of rain with it. And that, I think, will also wind up being a pretty significant snowmaker in the Cascades. Again, we'll show you that in a second. Wind advisory for the east slopes of the Cascades, Wasco County out into the Columbia Basin. That's today from 11 to 11 p.m. Tomorrow's system promises the threat of stronger south winds along the Oregon coast. So there's a high wind warning for Tillamook and Lincoln and Lane counties and points south from 8 o'clock tomorrow until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And last but not least, the lowering snow levels in the Cascades. Now, initially, the snow levels are pretty high. It's 43 degrees at Timberline right now. Snow levels will drop. They'll bounce around a little bit today and for the first part of tomorrow. But I think by tomorrow night, they drop steadily down to around 3,500 feet, which means anyone with travel over the Cascade Passes on Sunday, be prepared. Government camp there showing up with maybe 6 to 10 inches of snow. That's at pass level for Sunday and into Monday morning if that's part of your commute. All right, today increasing rain and wind. I've got Portland topping out at about 61. Tomorrow cooler with numerous rain showers and windy conditions as well. Again, wind gusts could be on the order of about 35 to 40 in the valley tomorrow if things work out just right. Not as much wind, but still a wet day on Sunday. And then we'll get a little break in the action Monday before another storm system clips the area Tuesday into Wednesday. All right, let's talk about the roads. Right now, is the rain impacting your commute? Well, first off, the Friday morning commute's usually a little lighter than Monday through Thursday. So far, so good. I don't have any major freeway trouble out there, but just to let you know, we're always watching it. It does look like we've got some rain here at the Sylvan Hill, and you can see the breeze starting to pick up there as well. Right now, I've got some brake tapping on the inbound Banfield. That's out near Providence Medical Center. Drive times shape up like this. The trip in from Wilsonville right now, about 22 minutes now from Wilsonville Road into downtown.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
That ad being run by the government of Ontario has President Donald Trump canceling all trade talks with Canada, saying it misrepresents Ronald Reagan. We have the latest details from Washington, D.C. in just 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, President Donald Trump has terminated all trade negotiations with Canada over a video from the Ontario government he says misrepresented remarks from Ronald Reagan.
Meantime, President Trump has also suggested that military strikes at alleged drug traffickers may move on land. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the details.
President Trump overnight calling off all trade negotiations with Canada over this Government of Ontario ad featuring former President Reagan saying high tariffs lead to retaliation and fierce trade wars.
Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
The president citing a statement from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute accusing Ontario of using selective audio and video that misrepresents the 1987 address without asking permission to use and edit the remarks, noting the foundation is reviewing legal options. President Trump accusing Ontario of interfering with a looming Supreme Court case on the legality of his tariffs that he called very important to national security and the economy. That amid growing legal questions over the Trump administration's military strikes against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean.
The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them.
The president now suggesting operations may move on land, saying his administration will inform Congress about targeting drug runners on land, but stop short of promising to seek authorization for military force. Democrats in Congress calling for hearings on the strikes that have killed at least 37 people. The administration has not presented evidence there were drugs in all of the boats, though the president is adamant the strikes are legal and necessary to keep drugs out of the country.
President Trump also announced he's backing off plans to send National Guard troops to San Francisco amid backlash from the tech community, saying he'll focus instead on other cities like Chicago. The president leaves tonight for Asia in a trip set to include a meeting with China's president as a critical trade deal remains elusive. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. The man accused of causing the Palisades fire has pleaded not guilty to federal arson charges. Jonathan Rinderknecht made his first appearance in court on Thursday. Federal prosecutors say he lived in Los Angeles when he allegedly set a fire on New Year's Day. He's being held in jail without bail and could face up to 45 years in prison. The trial is expected to start in December. The Department of Homeland Security says a driver targeted and rammed a car with ICE agents inside a suburb in Arizona. This happened Thursday morning when the agents tried to do an immigration stop on the car. The driver and passenger are now facing charges of assault on federal officers. The two agents in the car were sent to a local hospital to be treated. And Target says it plans to cut 1,800 corporate jobs, marking the first major round of layoffs for the company in decades. This comes as Target faces a slump in sales, declining store traffic, inventory troubles, and customer backlash. The company says it expects annual sales to decline this year, and that's your morning rush.
Portland can be kind of a tough crowd when protests get started.
Still ahead on Sunrise, a federal judge is set to make another decision on whether the Trump administration can send National Guard troops here to Portland. And we're also continuing to track today's weather impact alert. Meteorologist Chris McGinnis will have more on what to expect as we head into the weekend.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Good morning, I'm China Green. We are tracking a weather impact alert for a wet and windy day today. But first, we are continuing to follow the arrest of Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups. Billups was arrested yesterday by the FBI for being a part of fraudulent poker games. After a court appearance yesterday, Billups is now out of custody, but he's not allowed to gamble and has certain travel restrictions. Court documents showed that Billups now has a hearing scheduled in New York on November 24th. Now let's get to Chris with a look on that weather impact alert.
Thank you, China. It is raining in Scappoose. It's been raining for a little while now in McMinnville. That rain is steadily pressing off to the east. So if it's not raining in your neighborhood just yet, give it an hour or two and it will be. You can see the progress of that rain over the last 3 hours. So the plan for the remainder of today, mild and turning rainy, and increasingly that rain's going to get fairly heavy here, we think, through the noon hour and into the early afternoon. The winds are also going to pick up on the order of 15 to 25. So KGW weather impact alert days for the wind and rain today and tomorrow. Still showery with lowering Cascade snow levels on Sunday.
Well, we're tracking the latest on today's weather impact alert as 2 strong storms impact our region. Now, this is a live look from our Rose City Sky Cam looking out over Portland. You can see the clouds rolling in at this hour.
An atmospheric river is bringing heavy rain at times across the Portland metro as people make their morning commute to work. A wind also set to pick up. Thank you for joining us here at 8:30. I'm China Green.
And I'm Corey Johnson in for Drew Carney today. Chris McGinnis standing by for a look at our weather impact alert.
Yeah, good morning again, ladies. So it's not the storm to end all storms, but it is certainly the first kind of 1, 2, 3 punch, if you will, of our fall season, where we get repeated rounds of heavy rain, gusty wind, and yes, even some Cascade snow. Most significantly, the wind impact is going to be felt tomorrow, but certainly very rainy, turning rainy today and tomorrow. You need to just drive carefully out there, and if you have the opportunity, now would be a great time to clear your gutters and storm drains because, you know, cumulatively we could be looking at 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain in the Willamette Valley between now and late Sunday night. It's raining in Scappoose. It's been raining now for a little bit in McMinnville, and you can see the progress the rain has made over the last 3 hours. We've had some rain into parts of Clark County and Cowlitz County. It's been raining at the coast all morning, and that rain is continuing to push on off to the east. So with that in mind, as we said, if it's not raining in your neighborhood just yet, give it another 60 to 90 minutes, and it likely will. As I mentioned, the rain is likely to pick up in intensity as we get into the late morning hours. So I'm going to say between about 10 and 4 is the sweet spot for the heaviest rain, or maybe kind of centered around noontime and into the early afternoon. The wind is also going to pick up on the order of about 25 miles an hour out of the south later today. So you imagine driving through that wind-driven rain. It's not going to be pleasant out there today. Stronger winds tomorrow, and again, lowering Cascade snow levels tomorrow night and Sunday. That full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Let's look at the roads right now. Luckily, you know, this is happening on a Friday, and our Friday morning commutes are usually lighter than the Monday through Thursday commute. They start a little later, they finish a little earlier. So traffic volume not too big out there, or not too bad, and you can see we're zipping along okay through the Terwilliger Curves. That's the I-5 commute. Highway 26 looks a little breezy there. Also looks like the cars are getting along just fine. Can't tell if there's any dampness on the roads there just yet, but certainly the rain will be hitting there soon. And last but not least, the Banfield traffic picking up a bit through I-84. That's now about 20 minutes or so to get you in from Troutdale. China?
Thank you, Chris. We start with news that we first brought to you yesterday morning on Sunrise. Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested and indicted in an FBI probe into illegal gambling.
Billups is now facing federal conspiracy charges related to money laundering and wire fraud. Now, Billups made his first appearance in federal court yesterday afternoon. He's accused of taking part in rigged poker games that investigators say used high-tech tools to dupe players out of money. While he's currently out of custody, Billups has surrendered his passport, posted a substantial bond, and is now banned from gambling.
It's shocking, I think, how wide-ranging it is. I mean, Billups being a Hall of Fame basketball player first and foremost, I imagine that, aside from probably losing his coaching gig, he'll be banned from the NBA.
And that was just a sample of the shock we heard as the news of Billups' arrest made its way through Portland yesterday.
And with the Blazers slated to play the Golden State Warriors at the Moda Center tonight, there's a lot of questions around what's next for the team. So for starters, the Blazers released a statement saying that they are aware of the allegations involving Billups and are fully cooperating with the investigation. Tiago Splitter will take over as interim head coach. He joined Billups' coaching staff in June. Splitter has been an assistant coach in the NBA with stops in Brooklyn and Houston, and he most recently was the head coach of the Paris Basketball Club. Now he's tasked with putting on the Blazers back on track. Tip-off between the Blazers and the Warriors is set for 7 o'clock at the Moda Center. But stick with KGW. We will have continuing coverage on Billups' arrest online at KGW.com and on our KGW mobile app and right here on KGW+.
Well, new this morning, Woodburn teachers are trying to combat ICE raids in a unique way through contract negotiations with the school district.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz breaks it all down for us this morning.
In negotiations, teachers down in Woodburn are asking the school district to confirm that it will not allow immigration enforcement officers on campus unless they can provide 3 things: a warrant, proper credentials, and identification. It's been a really tense year for a lot of people down in Woodburn, where 2/3 of the population is Latino. Last week, Superintendent Juan Ladio sent a letter to Woodburn families, alerting them that a student had been taken by immigration officers from their home. He said situations like that could happen again. Ladio urged families to be compassionate and empathetic. Now teachers are asking the district to take it a step further. If an educator is arrested, detained, or deported, the teachers union wants it to be treated as paid leave for 90 days as the educator tries to return to their job.
Ensuring safety, belonging, and respect in every classroom is not only a policy, it is a moral imperative and a reflection of who we are as a district.
We reached out to the Woodburn School District as well for comment on this proposal by the teachers union, and they said, look, we have measures in place to keep students, families, and staff safe on campus. They add that they also uphold Oregon sanctuary laws. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
New overnight, the Portland Police Bureau made 2 arrests outside the ICE facility in South Portland after fights broke out nearby. One man from Portland, another from Colorado were arrested on harassment charges. Meantime, later this morning, a federal judge could decide if President Donald Trump's plans to deploy the National Guard to Portland can move forward. The Trump administration wants Judge Karen Emmerget to dismiss her second temporary restraining order blocking the federal deployment of any National Guard troops to Oregon. The state of Oregon and city of Portland argue that the temporary order should stay in place. That is while the Ninth Circuit Court votes on whether a larger panel of judges should rehear the case after a split ruling earlier this week, which essentially cleared the way for troops to be deployed.
Now, if troops, in fact, hit the streets, the head of Oregon's National Guard is urging Portlanders to remember the people being deployed or citizens who volunteered to serve their state. Adjutant General Alan Gronwald says he's in daily contact with U.S. Northern Command, which now oversees the 200 federalized Oregon troops. Now, before they mobilized, he wrote the troops a letter urging them to remember their duties regardless of how it's received. This week, he sat down for an exclusive one-on-one interview with KGW's Stephanie Domerat on Straight Talk.
Portland can be kind of a tough crowd when protests get started, and we put our soldiers, we ask them to be in a difficult position. And recognizing that not everyone is going to understand the difference between an ICE agent and an Oregon National Guard service member.
The general says the 2 units chosen for this mission both have past training in how to handle civil disturbances. And you can check out the full interview on Straight Talk anytime on KGW Plus or Monday night at 7 o'clock on KGW.
Time now is 8:37. We are taking a live look from our sky cam by way of our Timberline Lodge over there. I think. Is it?
Yes.
I can't see the
Yep.
lodge. Oh, we're just like high up pointing. I do know, I don't know what that is, but I do know that rain is coming our way. We have multiple rounds, I think Chris is talking about. I do believe that this is the first week my Hunter rain boots come out.
You want to show them off?
Oh, yeah.
Put them up.
Oh, I don't have those on right
Can
now.
will you tear a hamstring if you put them up?
I have cute boots on right now. Ooh. Cute boots.
Oh, those are cute boots.
They look
Okay,
like
the
witch
rain boots
boots.
come out later.
Yes.
Those are cute boots. All right, yes, you do need the boots and the rain gear. And change your windshield wipers if you haven't already, because you're going to be making good use of them throughout the weekend. Rain right now in Scappoose. It's raining in McMinnville. We've got rain on your... If it's not raining in Hillsborough, I'd be surprised. Radar does show rain right overhead. Certainly western Washington County already getting wet. We've been raining at the coast all morning long, and that band of rain is progressing to the east. So with that in mind, yep, it's on the uptick. Futurecast shows light rain over the I-5 corridor here through 9 or 10 o'clock. The rain will pick up in intensity as we get towards the noon hour. And I think it's going to be a pretty good slog of rain here coming through the region between noon and 4 o'clock. So just be aware of that. If you're on the roads this afternoon, rainy and also a little breezy. The breeze initially out of the east this morning. It's going to shift to the south as this front whips on through. So imagine a wind-driven rain at 25 to 30 miles an hour out there. That's what's in store for us as we go into the afternoon, lunch hour and beyond. At the beach, rain, it's already raining. It'll be raining throughout the day. Gorge rain developing probably not until later on this morning and maybe not until the early afternoon as you get out towards the Dalles, but it will eventually get rainy for you. And we are already raining in Cowlitz County and portions of Clark County. Wet weather hasn't made it into Salem just yet, but you're next in line, so your rain will be developing, as will that south breeze on the order of about 15 to 25 miles an hour. Temperature-wise, we're probably peaking out in the low 60s this morning, and then as the front sweeps through and the rain picks up, the temperatures will hold steady or maybe even drop a degree or two by late this afternoon. That's storm system number 1. We get a break overnight, and then storm system number 2, Big Brother, comes in on Saturday with even gustier winds. There is a high wind warning at the coast, and behind that system, snow levels will drop significantly, I think, so that by Sunday morning we are talking about Cascade Pass level snow. That's important for anyone traveling to and from Central Oregon this weekend. More on that in a bit. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads, and the roads, luckily, are still in pretty good shape. We'll take you to the south side of town with the I-5 drive through the Terwilliger curves. The northbound commute is traveling from the bottom of your screen to the top, and you can see we're still getting along okay. Typically, the Friday morning commute lighter than Monday through Thursday, and that's holding true this morning. Sylvan Hill, Highway 26 looks pretty good. That's tight right now. Westbound I-84 moving from right to left. That's out near Providence Medical Center, so the drive through Hollywood is getting a little bit busier. At last check, you're tripping from Troutdale, 22 minutes. Ladies?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, Alaska Airline planes are back in the air after a nationwide ground stop. What caused the major IT outage and what travelers should know before heading to the airport.
Hey, our team tests products every day. We get rid of the rejects. We only bring you the best. This is the Zoom broom. It's kind of half broom, half leaf blower. Brand new leaf blower technology. Look how lightweight this is. Only 2 pounds. And when you compare it, this is the leaf blower I have normally. Look how big this thing is, and it's much heavier and bulkier. It has batteries like that. This one, you just charge with a USB-C, done, and it's cordless. Look at the commercial on this. It's actually really satisfying, looks really easy, blowing everything away. We want to see if it actually works, so here we go. I'm gonna blow away some leaves here. Look, wow, it works just like the commercial, just like that. Blow the leaves wherever you want them. I have some dirt over here as well, blowing the dirt. Now, by the way, this is really cool on this. Come on in for a second. You can also turn it to high turbo mode, like that. If you have some really stubborn stuff, look at that. Look at it getting right off the driveway. This is really cool. Very satisfying. Got some mulch, I have some wood chips over here. And of course, the traditional old grass clippings like this as well. The great thing about the Zoom broom I was reading, this goes for 30 minutes straight without another charge. And if you're doing this for more than 30 minutes, you're probably doing it wrong. We have a deal on this for you today. You know I always try to save you money. It's normally $219. Today for you, only $149, 32% off. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Operations have resumed this morning for Alaska Airlines after an IT outage yesterday afternoon forced a ground stop across the country.
That ground stop for Alaska was lifted at 11:30 last night. At PDX, 6 Alaska flights were canceled, with many more delayed. NBC's Tom Costello brings us the latest.
This morning, Alaska Airlines is finally coming back online. A major company-wide computer issue at its primary data center, forcing the airline to issue a temporary ground stop that lasted for hours and canceling more than 150 flights yesterday. The airline's subsidiary, Horizon Air, also impacted. But another, Hawaiian Airlines, is still flying. In a statement, the airline apologized to its passengers, saying the safety of our flights was never compromised, and clarifying the IT outage is not a cybersecurity event. Grounded passengers expressing their frustration on social media.
People on that plane have been sitting there in Seattle for 1 hour and 20 minutes right here on a taxiway.
At SeaTac Airport, Sherry and Steve Plastick were about to board their flight when they saw a bad sign.
We're just sitting at the gate, and then all of a sudden we saw like the computer screens went blank. They just put up the Alaska Airlines kind of logo.
Fellow passengers on their plane learned about the outage online.
They noticed that there was a news story that there was some kind of system outage, but we on the plane had no idea that that was happening.
It's the second time in the last 3 months that Alaska Airlines has been forced to stop its flights.
We are stopping operations for this evening.
The country's 5th largest airline also grounding flights in July, blaming another tech outage that caused chaos and serious delays.
Alaska Airlines, how did this happen twice?
We are weather impact alert, and we saw from our live cam earlier, Rose City live cam, those clouds really rolling in ahead
ominous
of.
Looking.
Yeah,
yeah,
super ominous.
They're going to yield some rain here very, very soon, and that is the story for today. Rain and wind, hence the 2 days of weather impact alerts here, because this is just not run-of-the-mill rain. It's going to be pretty heavy rain, and the gusty winds are really going to be noticeable at times today, but especially tomorrow. I think tomorrow's system actually promises to bring even gustier winds, and I'll show you that with Futurecast in just a second. And last but not least, heavy snow in the Cascades, including the Cascade Passes. Heads up if you're traveling to or from Central Oregon this weekend, specifically Sunday. That'll be the day where the passes, or where the snow levels are at their lowest, I think. So we're tracking essentially 3 distinct weather systems. One, the atmospheric river, the fire hose, is pointed right at us today here. So that's going to provide the first round of rain. The next system here quickly spiraling out in the wake of that, and we'll develop a little wave off of this one as well for Sunday. And all 3, when you put them together, are going to spell a very wet weekend across the Pacific Northwest to the tune of 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain up and down the I-5 corridor, maybe double that in parts of the Coast Range. And in the higher terrain, it will translate to snow. I'll show you that in a second. All right, we're already raining in Scappoose. It's been raining in portions of Cowlitz County and northern Clark County for a little while now, raining in McMinnville already. That rain is quickly pushing off to the east. The rain will pick up in coverage and intensity as we go through the morning hours. And I think our afternoon, the lunch rush and into the mid-afternoon, it's going to be pretty wet more than not, and it's also going to turn pretty breezy out there. That is round 1. That will move out of here later this afternoon or this evening, and that'll give us a little bit of a break, maybe a 6-hour window to dry out a little bit overnight. But very quickly, storm system number 2 comes sweeping on in here early Saturday morning, and then around that will pinwheel spiral in some areas of showers throughout the day to go along with the on and off gusty wind as well. So tomorrow's going to be a stormy day, and then the third system comes in weaker but still adding to the rain and the mountain snow as well. We've got wind advisories for east slopes of the Cascades and across portions of the Columbia Basin today from 11 o'clock until 11 p.m. And then storm system number 2, we mentioned this one would be probably a little stronger, deeper area of low pressure, inducing stronger south winds along the coast, hence the high wind warning tomorrow for Tillamook and Lincoln and Lane counties and points south. Let's check out the wind. With the first system coming through today, we'll feel those gusty winds in the Willamette Valley, 25 to maybe 35 miles an hour, and even stronger at the coast. And then fast forward into tomorrow, that system looks a little stronger. And if things work out just right, we could have 30 to potentially 40 mile an hour gusts in the Willamette Valley. It's not a slam dunk that these types of winds will materialize, but it's at least possible. So it's worth mentioning for that for the day tomorrow. And then last but not least, the snow in the Cascades. So here's the deal with the snow levels. They're going to bounce around a little bit. Right now it's 43 at Timberline. Snow levels will lower a little bit tonight, a little bit more so tomorrow, but it's really Saturday night into Sunday that I'm watching for the snow level consistently below the passes. And with that in mind, Sunday travel through the Cascades is going to be wintry. So be prepared for that. Sandy Am Pass, same story. That's at 4,000, 4,500 feet. That will be snow covered. Right now, it's 57 degrees at the airport. East-southeast breeze at the airport, but look at that at downtown Portland, the Umpqua Bank building. You can see the U.S. flag there really snapping out of the south. So the breeze already starting to turn to the south, and we'll feel that throughout the day, 15 to 25 with some higher gusts. 7-day forecast shows the rainy continuing weather, rainy and breezy tomorrow. And whoops, let's go back. Rainy and breezy tomorrow, showery on Sunday, and then we start to come out of it at least for one day. Because, you know, it's October. It rains like every other day, right? We get dry for one day on Monday next week, and then we get some more rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. Drive time starting to build just a little bit, but not bad. Let's go ahead and zoom in on one of the slow spots. I-84 westbound traffic tightening up a little bit out near Providence Medical Center, or speed sensors. I don't know. They seem to be, that looks faster than 14 miles an hour, but that's what the traffic sensor says. I-5 through the Twilliger curves, the northbound drive getting a little slow there. The drive on the north side of town at this point wide open. Your clip in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, just 12 minutes. Guys.
All right, Chris, we're moving fast on our Friday. Thank you. We are officially gearing up for the KGW Great Toy Drive. Now is the time to sign up to help us collect toys here. Maybe you own a local business, maybe you're part of a local organization, or you're throwing a big holiday party. If you check any of those boxes, or all of them, you can definitely help out. Just go to kgw.com/toy, sign up, and we'll send you the official Great Toy Drive collection kit. Don't want to miss it.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
So Rod may not be here today, but he will be back next week to bring us his annual winter outlook detailing the weather that we can expect throughout the winter. You can watch Rod's winter outlook this coming Wednesday, October 29th at 6:45 and 8:45.
And a look at our top stories. Later this morning, a federal judge could decide if President Donald Trump's plans to deploy the National Guard to Portland can move forward. The Trump administration wants Judge Karen Emmerich to dismiss her second temporary restraining order blocking the federal deployment of any National Guard troops to Oregon. The state of Oregon and city of Portland argue the temporary order should stay in place. Operations have resumed this morning for Alaska Airlines after an IT outage yesterday afternoon forced a ground stop across the country. Now, according to CNN, the ground stop for Alaska was lifted at 11:30 last night. At PDX, 6 Alaska flights were canceled with many more delayed. Alaska notes this is not a cyber attack or related to other outages. And former House Republican leader Christine Drazan has now been appointed to the Oregon State Senate. She will fill the seat vacated by former Senator Daniel Bonham, who left to join the Labor Department in the Trump administration. Drazan will serve the remainder of Bonham's term, which ends in January of 2027.
Okay, rain and more rain and wind today, rain and wind tomorrow, and showers and lowering snow levels on Sunday. In the Cascades, the Cascade passes are likely to be quite snowy during the day on Sunday. So there's your 7-day forecast, on and off wet for sure. The drive, not bad. Friday morning commutes tend to be lighter than Monday through Thursday, and today, true to form, I-84 right now 20 minutes to get you in from Troutdale, I-5 from Wilsonville just 21 minutes.
Christmas Island in Australia is crawling with crabs.
Oof.
Every year, millions of red crabs come out of the forest after the first rainfall of the wet season.
Are they cute?
No, look at that. No.
Could they be KGW pets of the day?
No. So they make their way to the ocean eventually to mate. The red crab migration is the biggest tourist attraction for Christmas Island. For me, we don't like to share our opinions on here, but for me it looks demonic.
Oh, that's harsh.
It just looks like it's like a horror movie scene. Maybe it's just the
end of the world, apocalyptic.
Yes.
Like that's what's going to be left after all the bombs are dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, a reminder that you can watch sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. Have a fantastic weekend.